regarding water. What policies specifically do you hope to enact to solve our water crisis that you heard so much about tonight?
Yeah, well, I've visited this area a number of times. I've seen for myself some of the algae blooms that you all have to deal with around here. It's pretty unfortunate, and worse than that, that for the past 8 years we have neglected our environmental protection. Under our administration, we're going to convene the best scientists, the best biologists, the best marine biologists to help inform what can we do in the short term, medium term, and long term to help get a handle on the kind of environmental degradation that we're dealing with. I believe that, as most people probably know, this will not be an issue solved overnight. It's going to require significant resourcing from the state. We will push for that resourcing. It will require us to appoint new water management districts who will actually believe in science and will, in my opinion, help to keep our environment safe and protected. And then it's going to require us to have the backbone that is necessary to stand up against big agricultural and our big polluters to ensure that they don't get to run roughshod over our state and our water quality again. It's time that we do something. I believe under a Gillum and a Christ administration, we're going to see Gillum King administration, we're going to see some real progress being made on this issue.
Is there a specific policy that you want to start with that you have in mind?
Yeah, I mean, so for instance, right now we are requiring farmers and big agricultural to subscribe to what is known as best practices as a way to deal with their farming practices. Well, that's insufficient. There are no clause to that system. There are no mandates to that. It basically says, you tell me what you want to do to deal with pollution and stormwater runoff, and we'll allow you to do it. That's insufficient. We have got to be bringing into best practice as a sufficient means to deal with pollution and put back in control the regulators who help to keep our environment clean, safe, and protected.
How much funding do you think we should dedicate to that?
Well, I think we need to know how bad the problem is. Right now, I don't think that we have had truth and transparency coming from our regulators around exactly how bad is this issue that we're dealing with. We know that we've got major stormwater runoff. We know that we've got major nitrates that are seeping into Lake Okeechobee, that when we do these releases, it finds its way into the estuaries, which then create the blue-green algae effect that we have all come to become too familiar with. We don't have a full handle, which is the first step that we've got to take, is to get a full environmental evaluation on what are we dealing with, and then rely on those scientists to offer up what are going to be, again, the immediate short-term and mid and long-term solutions to help us clean this issue up.
And those studies are obviously going to cost some money too, so you're willing to put it up.
We are. Our environment is worth it. Our environment is absolutely worth us taking strong steps to protect our water quality, our air quality, our beaches and our oceans. It's a mandate, it's mandatory, and under our administration we're going to get it done.
Well, tonight I heard that you're, first and foremost, the issue that you care about the most is health care. So that being said, our environment, where does that rank on your priority list?
As I said tonight, it's hard to rank just one. We've had 20 years under Republican control, and at least the last 8, not strong stewardship around our environment. Environment is a high priority for us, and as I talk tonight, I think there are real opportunities. There's an economy in dealing with our environmental challenges. Education is also high up, as is, as I mentioned during the town hall meeting, healthcare. But there are a number of leading issues that we've got to address. That's the burden that I'm going to have coming in as the first Democratic governor in 20 years and having to reform an entire state that has been out of our control for 2 decades.
Well, speaking of that, sorry, what was that? Okay, well, speaking of that, in our area we do have a lot of representatives that are Republican. So what are you going to do to unify people, and how do you think you're going to play with people on the other side of the aisle? Well,
I'll tell you, I've tried to exhibit it in my own campaigning. We've gone to Republican areas, Democratic areas, split Democrat-Republican areas of our state and campaigned in those areas. We've talked to voters. We've listened to their concerns. It is my hope, and it'll be my job as the governor of the state of Florida, to do what is in the best interest of the people of our state. And that means that we're going to have to sit down in the instance that there is a Speaker Oliva on the Republican side, have conversations, and figure out what we can do to solve problems. People don't send us there to bicker. They don't send us there to fight. They send us there to get things done on their behalf. And when we win this race, they can expect that I'm going to be willing to sit down, to listen, to negotiate, and come to cooperating conclusions that benefit the people of our great state.